Hello, innovators. I'm Todd Weyandt, and welcome to the Bridging the Gap podcast presented by Great Tech Group. You're invited to join our conversation to model the future of construction innovation and the digital transformation adventure of this great industry. My guest today is Jessica Herrala. Jessica is the head of sales and regional director of North America at Buildots, an AI-based construction technology that gives stakeholders the power to reduce schedule through data and insights. She has a deep passion for improving the efficiency of the industry through technology and enjoys working directly with leadership and projects teams to solve pain points and time waste on projects. Welcome to the show, Jessica.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here.
Looking forward to it. So I always like to hear kind of people's origin stories. How'd you get into this construction industry to begin with?
Love my origin story because it starts with my dad, who is a commissioning agent by trade, and he worked at huge companies. For the longest time, he was at Lend-Lease, and that's how I really got into, it was Bogus at the time, but he would walk me around job sites as I was a kid, and he's an MEP, right? So when I walk job sites, you'll still see me looking up because that's how he taught me to walk job sites, because that's what he was doing, was looking up. So I was in my hard hat and I was looking up and learning all about what he did. And as time progressed and I grew up, I realized that I absolutely wanted to be in construction. I loved construction, but I didn't necessarily want to be the engineer. I wanted to do all the other things surrounding construction that made construction great. And so that's how I really started. And I started as a job site secretary on job sites in college, and then graduated and started into doing all of the things that supported what our great builders do every day. So I was in marketing, I was in business development, I was in communications and public affairs. I ran strategy, and that was at Skanska. Well, I was at Skanska for 17 years. And then I was at Walsh. I ran strategy at Walsh for 3 years. And then I was at Clayco and ran sales and marketing there. And then I jumped into the wide world of construction technology, and I've never looked back. It is the coolest thing out there. This is what's changing the game. This is really what I think I was brought to do in my life, was to do this to support builders.
That's amazing. I love that. And the childhood connection there is super cool as well. I'm curious, how do you think going on those kind of early job site tours with your dad really helped set you up for what you're doing now on the technology side of things?
I mean, it's so interesting, right? Because I think as builders, what we love to do is really point out what we built. And that was always a huge pride point for my dad, like, I built that. And I think today, what it set me up for is I love in my career being able to say, I worked for a company that built that. It was amazing. And today in technology, I can be like, hey, I was on that project that saved 10 weeks on that MEP trade, or saved, 30 weeks, or saved $2 million or whatever it is on that project. And so it is a way for me to stay engaged and get my hands dirty into construction sites. Just because I'm in technology doesn't mean I don't put my boots on every day. I put my boots on, I put my hard hat on, I walk the sites, I listen to the superintendents, I listen to the pain points that they deal with day in and day out, and my brain just starts working. My brain starts getting into, how can I change their pain points? How can I make their lives better every day? Because ultimately, those are the guys that have always paid my salary, and they still do today.
Yeah. I love the pride that's in the construction industry. I think it's a
best,
super
right?
cool thing. Yeah. It's maybe a blessing and a curse sometimes, but it's a really cool thing.
I totally get you.
So I'm curious, okay, you've seen a lot of different vantage points throughout the industry. What do you think are some of the biggest challenges project teams face when trying to keep up with, all the activities that you have to try to balance across the job site?
I mean, the biggest challenge, honestly, that I hear day in and day out is, how do I trust everybody on the job site? How do I trust what everybody's saying? Because we as an industry are built on mistrust. We are built on not trusting each other and trying to bust everybody in this lie and the project managers arguing with the superintendent because the project manager's like, when's that going to be done? And the superintendent is like, it's going to be done here. Well, how do I know it's going to be done here? And it's just strife, it's just constant strife. And within that strife, what we find is this level of confusion and lack of accurate, clear data points. And that's where we lack. Where we lack right now is clarity and accuracy and what to do with that clarity and accuracy if we even have it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think where we live today is we sit in a land of expecting people, young people, to want to work 12 to 14 hours a day in a metal trailer, which, like, it's 2025. Nobody wants to do that anymore. Bad news. We live in a world where these kids, these new workers are expecting things to be different. And we are an industry that does not do things different. We think that the antiquated way of not trusting each other and having all of this confusion happening all the time is just the way of the world. And it's just not anymore. And there's ways around.
Yeah. Wow. There's so many rabbit trails that I could spin off in
I know.
that one answer.
Because we have so many problems. We have so many problems.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's an interesting thing that you bring up with the trust aspect of it, because how many times does that then cause everybody to have to reduplicate entry because we want to keep track of it on our side because we don't trust your software, even though it's really the same software. I just have my own license on my side that I'm just
100%. And think
duplicating
about the
work. It's
telephone game.
ridiculous. Yeah.
Think about the telephone game that happens within construction of every single point along the way of everybody recording their own data in their own mind of what that data is.
Yeah. It reminds me of
crazy.
I don't know if you saw it, but a couple of years ago, Autodesk came out with this amazing commercial, the telephone game. And it starts off with like, hey, can you get Bill on the phone? Yeah. And then by the end of it, there's this enormous waterfall coming down from the skyscraper building. And they're like, where is Bill? Because it just spiraled so far out of control. The telephone game is real and it for sure happens.
It's real and it happens 100%.
So how is real-time progress tracking? How can that help kind of change this game and maybe bring some trust into the equation to really develop some good decisions on site?
Well, it's really interesting because what we're asking contractors to do, who we're on a podcast, so I can't say, but I mean, there's a lot of guessing games going on. There's a lot of sticking your finger in the wind to being like, I think it's going to be done based on this. And so I think having that progress tracking where you're trusting AI, and I realize we're asking a lot of the industry to trust AI, but to trust the computer, because the computer doesn't have feelings and doesn't have emotions and can't lie, quite frankly. And so what you're getting out of it is this insanely accurate progress data, right? Like what you get is this progress data that cannot be argued with because there's photo evidence of it at the click of a button. Like, you say this is done. Okay, cool. Let's go click. Boom. Oh, look at that. It's not done. And it takes that much to, prove somebody wrong or to prove somebody right or whatever it is, but you cannot argue with it.
Yeah. So you said an interesting thing there that I'm sure people's kind of, antenna started prickling of trust AI and trust the computer. Well, a lot of people in the industry, for sure, on that train, there's still a big hesitancy with trust AI and trust the information that's coming on the computer. How do you handle that change management and the mindset shift that is required for this? I talk
to superintendents day in and day out, right? Like I said, I get my boots on, I walk outside, I have conversations with them. And it's a lot of therapy sessions, to be quite frank. It's a lot of like, we turn the system on and it starts showing delays, and I had the first time we did it with a superintendent with one of our very best customers. And he's a young guy, so he was in it, right? Like, he was in the progress tracking. He was like, yes, this is exactly what I've needed in my life. We were tracking plan percent complete, tracking PPC for him. And we turned on delay forecast where it starts showing the estimated delay of certain trades. And he was like, no, this is not right. My project is not this delayed. This is absolute BS, Jessica. I will never believe this. And I'm like, at first I had a panic because I'm like, oh my God, is the AI wrong? But no, the AI is right. And so then it was hands-on explanation of like, let's look back. Let's look at what the production rates are. And, how do you trust the production rates? Well, this is what they were producing week over week. These are the calculations that the AI is doing for you that you're not doing yourself, but this is the production rate. You can't argue with it. And at the production rate, if you keep going at this rate, it's going to be X. And so I think what we've recognized at Buildots particularly is how important our customer success team is. We call them project managers because that's what they are, right?
Mhm.
They are project managers. They are former project managers in construction. We spend so much time working with the project teams, really hands-on, being like, okay, this is what the data is showing. Is this what you're seeing on your job site? It's not what you're seeing on your job site. Okay, let's do some research into why you're not seeing it. And I'm telling you, 99.9% of the time, the data's right.
Yeah. It's just holding up a mirror to what you may not want to see or what you may not can't see because you don't have all the information right there at your
You don't
fingertips.
have all the information. That's exactly right. It's really hard to stand in the middle of a construction site and think that you're seeing everything that's happening all the time, right?
Right. Sure.
It's
It's an impossible task. There's too much happening at any
it's
one
impossible
second.
task. Yeah, and that's how we've gotten the reputation that we've gotten of being so delayed all the time. Or, we are in a business where we're making razor thin margins. You get off by a couple of weeks, you get into LDs and you're screwed, right? And then you have horrible morale on the team, you've got turnover, you've got burnout. It is a slippery slope that we are edging on every moment in this industry.
Yeah, for sure. So with the AI, it really can be a big help. What role do you see AI playing in helping the construction teams kind of move beyond the reaction mode to actually looking at things and preventing them from even happening to begin with?
Totally. And I think we had talked a little bit about our line of balance report. And this line of balance report, and it's funny, I was just meeting with the COO of Clayco the other day, and he's like, Jessica, have you automated a line of balance report? And he's old school like me. Not that I'm old. And he's like, you have automated this. I make every single job site show me their line of balance report. And a line of balance report is showing the actual progress on a line chart of every single trade, every single activity. Okay. And then using Buildots' data of our production rates, we actually start forecasting out where all those trades are going to be on a line of balance report. And then you start to see clashes. You start to see where there's float in the schedule. You start to see clashes amongst the trades because let's be honest, when trades are late, the first thing they say when they're called out is 1, I'm not late. B, I'm being held up by somebody.
Sure. Yeah. Blame
And
game.
blame game. And so what our line of balance report does is absolutely show that there are nobody's in your way. Or if there is somebody in your way, now what pace does that other trade have to work at in order to get out of the way, right? So we can start forecasting and doing all of that schedule forecasting for every single trade, for every single activity, and tell them exactly what pace they need to be working at week over week so that everybody is in line and in sequence, which is how you want a line of balance to look.
Yeah. Very cool. So kind of drilling into that a bit more, if you could go under the hood on that, how do you identify the underutilized work ready areas to help improve that trade productivity so that they're all in line with each other?
I'm so glad you asked, Todd. It's the AI. So the AI goes in and you can actually check off every predecessor activity. So let's say I'm looking at sprinkler finishes, just as an example, right? I can go in and put in the predecessor of sprinkler finishes, which would be ceiling closures, which would be drywall, you name it, right? You can put in any predecessor activity you want. You hit a button and the AI spits out every single room, every single area that is ready for those sprinkler finishes to be installed. So there is no more discussion of, hey guys, where are you going to work? I can't work on this level because of this guy and this guy and this guy. It is literally a printout every single week of like, here's where you're going this week. These are your work ready areas. Go do it. And then the next week, the AI is doing a full recalibration. It tells you all the production that happened over that week, and then you do it all over again. Now, here's your work ready areas based on all the predecessor activities. And that is all done based on the AI, based on progress track.
Very cool. So kind of vision casting out to that, is that really doing some simulations and looking at kind of the what if planning of with those, the line of balance, if let's go out a month ahead. Where are we going to be? What's it going to look like? where are the shortcomings that we need to plan for?
That's exactly right. And you can do it based on different paces, right? So I can do it based on their recent pace that they've done
Mhm.
in the last 4 weeks. I can do it based on their pace so far. I can do it based on the pace that the AI is saying they have to work at to get back on schedule. Or I can do it on a custom pace, right? So like some trades will be like, no freaking way I can, install 200 pieces a week. I can install 150 pieces a week. Okay, great. So then it recalibrates it based on that. You can see it moving along the line and it starts forecasting and it shows how it's going to affect every other trade, every other activity.
Yeah. Well, what kind of lift is it to bring into an organization to really start plugging in all this data and information into it?
You actually won't believe it when I tell you because it's very, very simple. We need your BIM model, we need your schedule, we need your drawings. And that's all we need to set it up. And then you have to update your BIM model and you've got to update your schedule all the time. We take that in constantly. So we're always updating it. And then once a week, take 360 photos, a 360 photo video walk, a video walk of the entire site. You plug that camera in and the AI does the work from there.
Yeah. That's really cool. So
I'm telling you, it's amazing. The first time I saw it work, I could not believe my eyes. Seriously, every day that I see it produce results is another day that I am like even more amazed that everybody is not doing it already.
do you think that this is going to change the fundamentals, or does the line of balance evolve alongside the technology, or do the fundamentals kind of stay the same and the tools maybe change?
I think the fundamentals of construction are always going to be there, right? And I am very clear to tell people that I am not asking you to diminish or to replace your intuition because as builders, that's what's made us great at what we do is our intuition.
Mhm.
We all have a gut feel that exists. And I don't want you to replace that. But what I want you to do is augment it. I want you to augment how you work. I want you, age old, I want you to work smarter, not harder. But
Mhm.
in this case, I really want you to work smarter because I want you to use the data to your advantage and make different decisions because of it. And I do think that it is a collaboration tool. If it is used properly, it changes the way the entire ecosystem communicates and builds together for us to all make more money and finish on time.
Yeah. From your vantage point, the last 10 years have been just monumental
Oh
shift
my
and
God.
change in the technology in the industry.
Crazy.
How do you see people reacting to AI and tech coming into the space now? Is it more or less of the skeptical eye and more kind of embracing it, or do you still run into some of those roadblocks?
So I've been in the AI construction tech space now for 3 years, almost 4 years, which is crazy to say. And I can tell you, 4 years ago, it was like a joke. Like you told people an AI, like absolutely not, never going to happen. It'll never happen. And even a couple years ago, I had one of my old companies say to me, I will never buy your product because they just cannot imagine a world where there is technology in their lives. But I'll tell you, in the last year, it's like the lid has just been loosened and everybody is jumping in. Everybody's jumping in. And I tell customers today, if you're not doing it today, you are already behind because your
Oh, for sure.
competitors are out there kicking your ass, finishing projects early and on time, where you're still struggling because you're using antiquated data.
Yeah, for sure. When you bring up the 4 years ago, I think construction, there was so many different instances along the line of this new tech or
New
new tech
stuff.
coming in that was
Yes.
way too hyped up,
God.
and then it didn't deliver. And so AI, I think when it first started coming on the scene was kind of like that. And
Yeah.
then just the speed of evolution of AI in the last 2 years is mind blowing how far it's come and the impact that it's having. It's doing some
No,
super cool stuff.
totally, right? There was definitely some early on companies that I think came on the scene too early, right? And
Mhm.
I just think we were all, as the industry, inundated. It's like the entire technology world decided at the same time to inundate the one industry that had not been touched by tech. And
Right.
it was like overnight, right?
I was like, oh
That we
look, there's
went,
construction.
yeah, we went from it being like Procore and Autodesk to all of a sudden there's like 300 technology companies calling in every day with some newfangled thing. But I do think that the ecosystem has gotten a little bit better about streamlining and integrating and talking to each other and everybody's kind of finding their niche now. And we've definitely lost some good companies along the way, but I think the strong will survive. And now we're really honing in on it. The AI is getting really smart. We as an industry are understanding better to service construction and how hands-on it needs to be. You cannot be a regular old SaaS platform and come in and think that you are going to do something with this industry. You will not. You will fail. You have to be hands-on. You have to be relationship-based. We as tech is like, we're treated like subcontractors a lot of the time, and we're not, but like, you got to act like that too. You got to like service these people and deliver. So I think there's a lot of change, and there's a lot of change still to come.
Yeah. Well, the successful content companies that have really taken off over the last few years, have that industry background knowledge that came from construction. They're not new to this space.
100%.
So they have those relationships, and it's been so product tested in there. It's this really cool feedback that they just crave the insights and, information, good or bad, of their product, and they're constantly updating it and adjusting it in real time based on what their clients are saying.
They love it. They love it. And I love going and talking into colleges and universities, into the construction programs, because these men and women coming out of these programs are demanding it. They are demanding it. And all we care about in construction right now is recruiting and retaining. And if you're not doing AI today, you will not get the best talent. It's just fact.
Yeah. Well, for sure. Because they see it in every other aspect of life. So you're coming into construction, it's not there. You're like, what's wrong with
you? Yeah.
This is weird, So let's put our future globe, look into the crystal ball hat on. Okay. Yeah. How do you think advances in automation and AI are going to help shape the next decade of construction project management?
So, okay, let me think about this one for a second. How do I think it's going to change the face of construction management? That's the question. Yeah. So I think that technology and AI is going to continue to push us to change and to be better and to be different. And I think we are at a huge tipping point in this industry right now of automation. And you start to see more and more people. I mean, it's crazy to think that there was a, walking dog robot. Like even 2 years ago, we would see that on the national news and think, never, ever would I ever have a walking dog around my site, But here we are today. The dog is walking. The dog is opening doors.
The dog is cool.
The dog is cool, right? And our camera just rides on the dog, which is also really cool, right? He just hitches a ride on the dog. We've got, bricklaying robots. I mean, things that we would have never imagined in our life that are now coming to fruition. And I think we, as the technology industry, are going to continue pushing construction. They have to change because there are not enough people to build what society needs today. Straight up. There are not enough people to build what society needs. We have to figure out how to be smarter, and we have to figure out as an industry how to make more money. And by industry, I'm talking about the construction industry. Mm-hmm. We have to learn how to make more money, because otherwise this industry is going to come to a standstill. We've just beaten each other down to these crazy margins, and we've got to be smarter about how to work. And that means less people, smarter ways of working. There's no choice.
Yeah, for sure. And if I can do a callback to the start of the episode, we have to figure out how to overcome that trust gap as well too. Ooh. Because in order to solve the issues that are very real in the industry, this sounds a bit kumbaya, but we have to lock arms together and figure it out together. We can't have it a competition to bring new people in, because we're all suffering with it. So we have to all collectively make construction cool again.
Can make construction cool again. Let's get bracelets made, should we, Todd?
There you go. I like it. We're going to start something new.
MCCA, make construction cool again.
So as we seek to kind of wrap up and land the plane here, okay? A couple rapid fire questions for you. What's the phrase modeling the future? What does that mean and look like to you?
Modeling the future is trusting in technology, looking to technology to help you be smarter, work smarter, do things different.
It's a good one. One of my favorite topics is innovation. So what does innovation mean to you?
Innovation means sometimes trusting the technology dorks that you never wanted to hang out with in high school.
I like that one. I ask that every episode. I've never gotten that as a response. That's a good one. It's very good. How do people find out more information and connect with you?
Love for everybody to reach out and find more information. You can reach us at our website at buildots.com. BUILDOTS.com. I would love for you to reach out to me on LinkedIn, Jessica Herrala. I am very available and always love to chat about all things construction tech, and where we could take you.
Awesome. Well, Jessica, final question for you. If I could give you all construction power, you could snap your fingers and innovate one thing in the industry, what would you pick to innovate?
I would pick to innovate wait times at the elevators.
Man,
I'm not
you would
kidding.
solve a lot of delays right there.
I'm not kidding. It has nothing to do with my product. And it is the number one problem on job sites is how long people wait for the elevators.
Yeah. So is that just like beam me up like Star Trek? You step on a pod and it goes right up
I
or
don't
something?
know. It's why we haven't solved the problem yet, right?
I like it. Well, that's a good one. Jessica, thanks so much for taking the time and joining the show today.
Absolutely. Thanks, Todd. Appreciate it.
And now it's time for my Todd takes from this episode. First take, pride in what we build. I love seeing the passion in this industry. Every beam, every wall, every project finished is a testament to the skill and dedication of the people who make it happen. That pride is something worth protecting and celebrating. And second take, trust but verify. Collaboration works best when we assume positive intent, but also have systems in place like AI tools to verify progress and quality. It's not about fighting with each other. It's about making sure we're all aligned and moving forward together. And finally, intuition plus technology equals our superpower. Human intuition and creativity are what make this industry great, and technology shouldn't replace that. Instead, it can be a powerful partner to help make us smarter decisions, spot issues earlier, and ultimately do our best work. Thanks for listening to this episode. If you are interested in learning more, you can visit our sponsor, Great Tech Group, at ASTI.com for more information. You can listen to this podcast anytime by simply going to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Also, be sure to check out our website, bridgingthegappod.com. As always, I'm Todd Weyandt, thanking you for joining the conversation to model the future on the Bridging the Gap podcast. Keep innovating.